AITA for pretending not to understand a joke so that my stepsister's boyfriend would have to explain it? I, 18F. Live with my dad, his wife Hannah, Hannah's daughter Grace, 20F, and our younger brother, 8M. Grace really only comes to stay on the weekends since she's in college, and this time she brought her boyfriend Issac, 21M, with her. I'm biracial, my dad is white and my mom is black. Honestly, I don't look anything like my dad, so most people don't even think I am mixed. We like to joke that I got his personality instead of his looks. People tend to say offhanded stuff to me about how I don't look the way they think I'm supposed to. I'm kind of used to it, especially since my dad ended up married to a woman that is also white, so like every time I'm with them it obviously looks like I'm the odd one out. I'm not afraid to correct people, but sometimes that gets exhausting and I'll just play dumb instead. Grace and I had planned to get lunch together and her BF Issac ended up coming along with us. She wants him and I to get to know each other better since she really likes him, so I figured that's why she brought him. While we were having lunch, my mom's side of the family was brought up, and then Issac said that it must have been a shock to my dad, at least for me to end up so dark since most mixed kids are lighter in complexion than I am. But then he said that at least I ended up with good hair, so I didn't lose out completely. Grace didn't speak up and say anything to him about it, so I pretended not to understand what he meant and asked what was so good about my hair and what it was he thought I was losing out on anyway. He got flustered and said, "Well, you know, most girls with your skin tone have curlier hair." So then I asked why he thought my hair was good just because it wasn't that curly. He said he felt it just looked nicer. So I asked why he thought that textured hair didn't look just as nice. He kept blubbering out excuses and digging the hole even deeper for himself, and finally Grace told me to cut it out and leave him alone. I paid for my part of lunch and left after that. I didn't tell my dad or Hannah what happened, but it's obvious enough that Grace is mad at me. My dad asked that she and I solve whatever the problem is, because he hates seeing us be so tense around each other. Grace ended up telling me that she was pissed because I made her boyfriend look like a jerk by playing dumb. I told her that I didn't have to make him look like a jerk because he already was one, but she said that I drew the problem out more than necessary and made it worse than it needed to be when I could have just told him that he feed up. I mean, I could have done that, but I don't think it should be my job to, and plus I feel like it was probably more effective to get him to explain his logic out loud rather than have me tell him he was being a jerk. Grace is insisting that I should have just told him point blank, and BC I didn't. She thinks I'm an aw. Edit. My dad just texted me to ask if something happened at lunch with Grace's BF, so I'm pretty sure when him and my stepmom get home later, I'm going to tell him what happened since it seems like he already knows something did. Also, I do want to say that my reluctance about telling my dad and Hannah isn't because I want to protect Issac or anything, it's because Grace is my stepsister and I care about her. I know she really likes this guy and I really only feel bad BC, even though I know I didn't really ruin anything for her, it feels like I did. The situation just sucks, I guess. Anytime someone says something that's racist, homophobic, or sexist to me, all three happen often to me. I actually do the same thing by asking lots of open-ended questions like, "I don't understand, could you explain it to me? I still don't get why this a cause for concern, could you clarify? Why does this affect me? How did you come to that conclusion?" Doing this facilitative type rhetorical roundabout with asking them questions to allow them to further dig themselves into a hole, it works well. If your stepsister and her boyfriend didn't want to be embarrassed, then maybe next time they'll think about what they say to you, because if not, restart the questioning until they learn. NTA